Hey everybody, I am going to be doing a fun video for you guys today. I saw a video on Facebook and it was somebody using a rolling pin. They added some rubber bands, some bubble wrap, and some fun foam, all sorts of different things to the rolling pin, and then added some paint and used it to sort of stamp out or add texture to a project, more for like painting projects. I am going to be using a ton of different things so that we can get ideas on how to use different items, even recycled items such as the bubble wrap, a plastic bag, that sort of thing, and we can add lots of texture to our projects. So I am going to be actually not using the rolling pin today. I'm going to be using my brayer and also a paper towel roll. So I thought it would be a good idea to give you guys a different idea of what you can use if you don't want to use a rolling pin, or and also if you don't have a brayer, because I was going to strictly use my brayer, but I thought maybe some people don't have access to a brayer, and so I thought a paper towel holder was the next best thing. So it's really easy to stick the rubber bands on, and I'm just going to do that. I think I added 5 or 6 depending on how many lines you want. And I let them kind of curl up a little bit as well. That will give a little bit of a different kind of texture. But if you want them flat, you're going to have to take a little bit more time in putting them on. But I did add them kind of overlapping each other just to, again, give a little bit of different texture to the paper, I guess. All right, I'm going to be using my gel plate. You definitely do not have to use a gel plate. You can use a paper plate or even a craft mat. I just thought it was easy so that I can, in the end, get some nice prints out of it without wasting any of the paint. So I'm using some Impasto acrylic paints from Prima, and I just added 2 different colors, 2 different pinks. And I'm just going to roll it on there and get all of that paint on there. You kind of have to work a little bit fast because the acrylic paint does dry fairly fast. And as you could see, the more you roll and add, the more lines you get, the more texture you get. And it's just a fun, easy, almost free, I guess, if you have all this stuff at home, a way to add texture and just something different. So I'm just going to show you that again, and then I am going to move on to my drywall tape. I love this stuff for so many different things. I've used it for, well, I won't say a million, but quite a few different things. And it is fairly cheap. I think I paid $5 for the roll, and I've had it for a couple years now. So you definitely can get get lots of uses out of it. All right, so I did have a little bit of trouble adding it to the paper towel roll because even though it is sticky, it's not very sticky. And with the paint on the paper towel roll already, it wasn't working. So I added a little bit of Pixie Spray, and it's a repositionable spray, and mostly used for stencils, but I thought in this case it would work really well. And it did. It let it, adhered it just enough so that it wouldn't come off. All right, so I added the paint to the drywall tape, and as you could see, it adds just a little bit of texture. I do have some stamps that do this sort of texture, but this is just a different way to add even more variation, a different kind of texture. Even though the stamp does look similar, it's not the same. So if you want something different, or if you don't have a stamp that looks like this and you want to try something like this, you could definitely use the drywall tape. So I wanted to try out the drywall tape on my brayer. It didn't work as well as the paper towel roll, sorry. But as you saw, I did get a little bit of texture out of it, not as much as I would have liked, but I did end up using the brayer and adding some more texture with the negatives. I guess, that was on the brayer itself from painting it. All right, I'm moving on to this foamy type material. I don't even know what it's called. I got it in a recent package. My husband had gotten a something in the mail, and I took it all because I thought I could use this for all sorts of different things, adding texture to mixed media projects, and I added it to my brayer, and it does go on fairly thick. The paint goes on fairly thick, but as you could see, as you roll it on, it adds really cool texture and just something different if you want something just subtle in the background of a project. All right, I am moving on to a grocery bag. I thought everybody has these laying around, and why not recycle them in the way of art? So I thought that it would be cool to add it to an actual mixed media project, although I use my heat tool too much, so I think it would melt it. So I thought I had these in my craft room. I would just wrap them around this paper towel roll and add some paint, and it gives super cool texture. And it is basically free because if you live anywhere where they have, you get the grocery bags from the grocery store, you could definitely use them this way. I absolutely love the texture that it gives, and you can crinkle it up even more if you want even more texture. And if you don't have acrylic paints, you can use inks if you have those in your stash as well. I would suggest dye inks. Those probably would work the best. All right, so we're moving on to bubble wrap. Bubble wrap has been used so many different times for all sorts of different things. In my videos, I stamp with it, all kinds of things. So I thought, why not add it to this video? I absolutely love the texture it gives, and it's super simple, and I'm sure all of us have some sort of bubble wrap laying around in our house from packages that we get in the mail. All right, so I wrapped it around, and I did add some of that Pixie Spray to it so that it would stick, although it didn't, the overlapping part didn't stick to each other, so it was kind of coming up a little bit, but as I said before, I absolutely love the texture this gives. It just looks super cool, and I think it would be fun for a card background or, of course, mixed media project. And then, of course, you have your brayer itself. So I have not cleaned my brayer, so I have some dried up paint on there, which creates sort of like grooves or something, like some cool little texture on there. And so that's why I'm getting this cool texture from the brayer itself. If your brayer is brand spanking new, you might not get the cool little texture unless it has it on the brayer already, but I say use it a few times, don't clean it, and this is what you get. So I saw in the video on Facebook that they had cut out some triangles from Fun Foam and added it to the rolling pin. I can't talk today, holy moly. All right, but I wanted to use some squares, and they didn't work on the brayer because they were too thick and they just kept popping off. So I added them to the paper towel roll, painted them fairly quickly because, like I said before, the acrylic paint does dry fairly fast. And as you could see, you get cool texture. This would be fun for kids to just kind of play around with paints and different types of things like that. All right, next I am moving on to string. You guys know I love my string for all sorts of different things. So I'm wrapping it around my brayer, and it was super simple to do. And I'm sure you can use lace. Ooh, actually thinking about it, lace would be actually really cool to do this with. I wish I would have thought about that before, but if you give it a try, let me know and let me know how it turned out. I probably will give it a try soon as well. All right, so I'm adding more paint to my gel plate, and then I'm going to roll it on. And the first one that I did, it didn't work out that well because I do have that darker purple on there, and I was using a lighter color. I should have been using my head, but I was just getting excited about all of the different options and different textures you could get just from things laying around your house. All right, so I'm going to roll that out and then show you that it gives a little bit of texture, but then I will add a darker color on a new piece of cardstock in just a second here. So I'm going to move on to a darker purple. And if you have any ideas for adding texture that are, you know, using recyclable items or things around your house, let me know and leave them in the comments down below so that everybody can check them out. And we can all give each other ideas of different things we can use. All right, as you can see, I absolutely love this. I think it would be super cool to use gold paint, like a metallic gold paint, and add it to a card base or something. I think that would be really fun. All right, that is going to complete the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Please share it on social media so that we can get the word out on all these fun techniques. Also, leave me a comment down below. And if you are new to my channel, I hope you subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.